Some critics say extending the law to include anime or manga drawings could limit creative expression and damage a major industry in Japan. Roland Kelts is an author on Japanese pop culture and a lecturer as well. He joins us now live from Tokyo. And Roland, thank you for joining us. I know where you stand on the issue, but before we get to that, and without getting too graphic, what kind of scenes are depicted in child porn, anime, and manga? What have you seen?
Well, I suppose among the most taboo are scenes of incest, brothers and sisters and so on in bathtubs and, playing around in backyards and so on. Sometimes the action gets quite violent, and some of it I find extremely offensive, personally.
Now, you find it offensive. Your thoughts on this child porn ban? It does not include anime or manga. Should it?
No, I don't think it should. I think it's about time that Japan criminalized live-action pornography, child pornography. It's been a long time coming. But I think the government very shrewdly separated that from works of the imagination. I'm a libertarian when it comes to creativity. I believe that when you start outlawing the imagination, you wander into very, very dangerous territory. And we've seen it happen historically. But when you try to become the thought police and tell people what they can draw, what they can write, what they can dream, you go down a very slippery slope. I think one of the points that should be made is that the manga and anime industry have proposed certain self-monitoring policies. They've proposed making this material discreet, less openly available on newsstands or in shops in Japan. They are looking at ways to control access to material that some deem offensive. But again, I don't think the government should be telling us what we can draw.
So the industry there in Japan is looking at ways of limiting the availability of child porn, manga, or anime. Now, there are many people out there who do not see the difference, though, in what you call live-action child porn and some very carefully rendered anime child porn. I mean, how would you argue your position to them?
Well, the difference to me is quite clear, actually. In one case, you are trying to protect children from being exploited. If you have a live-action child pornography video or footage or photo, obviously a child, a human being, has been exploited in order to make that product. Whether or not their parents sold them into it or some other crime syndicate got them involved, a child was exploited. When you have a single individual's work of art or creativity or whatever you want to call it, an illustration, it has not exploited a single child. I mean, we're aware of that in film. Today we're more enlightened and we claim that we don't, no animals were injured in the filming of this Hollywood movie. Similarly, no child is exploited when an artist sits down to draw a picture.
This is a very, very important debate, especially there in Japan. Roland, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us. Roland Kelts, author and lecturer, joining us live from Tokyo. Thank you and take care. And while it is an important step forward for Japan, the International Center for Missing and Exploited Children says that 52 countries still have no legislation that specifically addresses child pornography. And these countries here in green have what the organization calls sufficient legislation, meaning that they meet most of the criteria used in the study. Now, only 11 met all of their criteria.